Hey everybody. So little change of pace today. Beautiful Sunday, and I felt like I should do this review outside. A little change of setting from my dingy office. You can see behind me lots of trees. My readers, the people who read my horror work, they might recognize this type of setting. The backgrounds of trees as probably inspirational of, or part of the inspiration behind Welcome to Moon Hill and the town of Moon Hill. I took a lot of my local area where I live, the northeastern Pennsylvania region in general, and used that in my settings for what I write. Today we are doing a review of Pollenator from Long Trail. Let's see if I can get that. That's Pollenator from Long Trail. Long Trail Brewery is, I was looking at their website, and they're very into the eco-friendly green movement. I noticed they said they use all their spent grains and hops to feed cattle. They do a lot of renewable and reusable energy sources with the steam created from the brewing process, as well as reusing a lot of the water that they use for bottling and in the cleaning process. So that's something cool. I thought that was an interesting little bit of history of the brewery. They're in Vermont, by the way. So, Pollenator, this is a spring ale, pale ale. It says on their website that it's a spring ale, but it's a pale ale. Bitterness units of 23, alcohol by volume 4.6. On the bottle, as the days grow longer and warmer, we celebrate the seasonal transition with our spring offering, Pollenator. Pollenator features a medium amber body balance with a modest amount of Willamette hops. The spring ale is highly drinkable, flavorful, and finishes clean and crisp. So it sounds like a pretty good beer. Without further ado, let's crack into this. Nice pour. It's about 2 fingers of white head. Very clean looking. I mean, this is crystal clear. Straw golden, little amber, like they said. I mean, you could see right through that, right? See the trees behind me. Let's see how aroma goes. I'm not getting too many hops right off. I think, in my amateur opinion, I want to stress the amateur part of this. Getting some sweet malt. This has two-row and crystal in it, as far as malts go, and the hops are Nugget and Cascade along with the Willamette. Not a very strong smell. Pretty subdued in aroma. There's nothing really jumping off on the nose. So let's give this a taste. Okay. The smell actually is a pretty good indicator of the flavor of this beer. There is not a lot going on. I'm definitely getting kind of a grain biscuit flavor going on, which is nice. I like that little background of malt. So you definitely get a little malt. It's not a sweet beer, but there is a little bit of sweetness to it. So the front end, when you first take a sip, has nice sweetness. And like I said, not that it's a sweet beer, but there's this little hint, probably from the crystal malt, of a little bit of sweetness. And then as it goes to the back of the palate, to the back of the tongue, you're getting a little bit of bitterness. It's not overly bitter at all, just that's what happens when it goes back a little bit. So you get a little bitterness in there. Pretty much subdued in flavor general though. On the back, what I'm getting is the bitterness, but also that's where the grain comes in. Is that a little bit of biscuity kind of graininess, not graininess, but of grain or malt in the back. So it starts with the sweetness, kind of a smooth transition to a little bit of bitter and biscuit. It's pretty good. It's not bad. I want to let this sit for a couple of minutes because on their website it says the ideal serving temperature is 45 to 50 degrees, and this was pretty much right out of the fridge when I poured it. So I'm going to let it warm up a little bit, and I'll come back for final sips and see if that changes my mind about anything. See you in a few minutes. Hey, I'm back. Been letting this sit a little bit and drinking as I waited, and just kind of tasting it as it went along. And I can see why they say to serve it at about 45-50 degrees. None of the flavors necessarily changed all that much, but they definitely became more pronounced. The grain and bitterness that I talked about became more apparent. I mean, it was definitely there before, but it became maybe a little more apparent as this warmed. The aroma remained about the same. So to recap, not much has changed here in my opinion as it warmed, except for maybe a little more. You get the flavor a little bit, and I guess that's true of a lot of beer. You really get more of the flavor of the ingredients. In a bad beer, letting it warm is going to probably bring out some of those off flavors. This is not the case with Pollenator. Pollenator is a clean beer. It's brewed well. I'm not getting any off flavors or anything like that. The hops don't necessarily come out in flavor and aroma that much. The hops seem mainly geared towards the bitterness. I'm not really getting much else in terms of flavor and aroma from the hops, which you may or may not expect in this style. Just take a last sip and tell you if anything's changed. And like I said, pretty much the same as before, except maybe slightly more pronounced. To have that nice little sweet hit on the front of the tongue as you start drinking, bitterness and grains as you're going back to the palate. Clean. It is clean and crisp. Definitely could see enjoying a couple of these on a day such as today, when it's just beautiful out and you want to get the barbecue going, get some shish kebabs on. In terms of pale ales, I've definitely had better. I've had worse. I'm gonna go middle of the road on this one. I'd drink it again. I wouldn't necessarily look for it, but if I saw it, I'd have it. Go with a 2.5 out of 5 mugs. And that's my final verdict on the Pollenator Long Trail. That's not a bad rating. 2.5 out of 5. It's, like I said, middle of the road. It's not bad. It's not amazing. It's something I enjoy. I will be doing at least 5 more new reviews over the coming weeks. When I bought the Pollenator, I did one of those mix and match 6-packs that they have at the store. So I got 6 different beers, all that I plan on reviewing. I have a Trogs Pale Ale. I think I have another Long Trail, I think IPA maybe, if I remember correctly. I got a Magic Hat IPA on tour. Something else, a couple others I can't remember at the moment, but look forward to that. And if you haven't already, check out my website. I have a contest going on right now that you could win a free copy of my novel, Soundtrack to the End of the World, through goodreads.com. I'll put a link for that at the bottom of the video. And otherwise, I'll see you guys soon. Have a good one.